post some of this. I mean, the previous section in the group chat. So, okay. So, like I said from the beginning, my name is Hamed. Today we have topics for our section today, which is Power Platform and the data integration, and also we looking to discuss more on Power Apps and Automate, and today is sorry, I think I have a mistake. Today is 6th, not 2nd. Okay, all right. So I have present our expert in the house. The name of Funso Akere, who is Power Platform expert, and then also he has years experience as a Power Platform expert guys, and then also we have SME in the house. Funso Akere will be talking about Power Platform administration and data integration, and then we have also our SME Dynamics Power Platform, Oluwaseseyi Aderemi. So who will be talking about Power Apps and Power Automate. So today we'll be looking at how this magic can be done again, such as what we have seen in previous sections for speakers who have done magic on Power Apps and Power BI and Power Apps and Power and Dynamics 365. Okay, so let me quickly introduce Funso Akere from Tech Expert Nigeria. Funso.
Okay, thank you very much, Ahmed. Good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me? And am I very audible? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen real quick. I pray the internet today is quite more stable. Okay. Okay, so I'm currently sharing my screen. Kindly let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay,
I can see
thank
your
you very
screen
much.
as well.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so basically, my name is Funso Akere once more, and I'll be taking us through a few things we need to know about the Power Platform administration. I believe that some of us already have some few understanding or engagement with Power Apps and Flow, and this has enabled the administration to be possible as well. Because without administration, then it means that the products will be out of control. Okay, so going to the Power Platform admin center is navigate. We have two admin centers. One of them is the legacy admin center and the new admin center. So I have opened up the new admin center here, and it goes by admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. Okay, so this is the new admin center. More and more features are currently being added to this platform because it's getting robust. Okay, so it's getting robust, and currently, for those that are familiar with Dynamics 365, news has been going around that very soon there will be migration of the Dynamics 365 platform, the CRM, to the Power Platform admin center for the Power Apps. So basically, as you can see on my screen, these are the list of all the environments that I currently have within this tenant within this organization. And on the left-hand side, just analytics, capacity to see the usage of the resource in your environment. And currently also, there are some licenses that needed to be assigned from this Power Platform Admin Center. That is the likes of the Power Apps, Power App Plan, and flow plan. So such are add-ons and are going to be licensed only via this admin center. Okay, so basically you can see the capacity in here if you be required to get additional capacity. Don't mind my storage, we've overused and Microsoft is giving us for free to still use. Very generous of them. Okay, so going down, you would see that you can have to see the analytics of more of your usage of the platform in terms of common data service, Power Automate, the API calls. The API calls that are being made, and also the users rate at which they make use of these platforms. Okay, and down to straight to today's um, the icing on the cake. Okay, so this is the data integration platform. So why are we going to be looking at data integration? Data integration majorly, data rules the world now. It is the oil of this era. So basically, it is needed that we acquire data, we transform data, and we move data from one source to another in order to make sense of it, and in order to also do some forecast on this data. So it's very quite important. And as we know, the data are sitting on different locations. Some are sitting on Azure, some are sitting on SQL on-prem, some are at Salesforce, some are in other third-party applications that are not Microsoft integrated or Microsoft built platforms. We call them the third-party platforms. So this, as you can see, is the data integration center, whereby we are going to be making use of the features that we have in here to build, transform, and move and synchronize projects from one source to another. Okay, this is quite cumbersome, but I'll try and cut it short as we can. So there are several ways to perform data integration. One is from this data integration on the admin center. This is one. There is another one that could be done from within the make.powerapps.com. This is known as the data flow. This is one. And the other one is quite new, and it's basically been done from the finance and operations side, which is called, what is the game? I can't really recall the name right now. Yeah, I have a logo into my head. Okay, so but basically we have about 3 endpoints now to perform integrations. Okay, yeah, I can remember now. Dual write. Yeah, it's called the dual write. So the dual write and the data integration, they kind of work hand in hand, but one has not come to replace the other. Okay, so coming to, just let me show you what we'll be doing today. So we'll be dealing with connection set, we'll be dealing with mappings, integration keys, the templates that Microsoft has made available, the project that is the out of the box projects that have been made available based on the customer's requirements over time, and the transformation of data, the executions, history, how to track them, and how to have your data integration to run either in synchronous or asynchronous pattern. Okay, so today basically what we'll be doing is moving data from F&O to Dynamics CRM. So that's what we'll be doing today. So you could also try this at your end, and I would be taking this a step further by using an F&O that is cross tenant, that does not belong to the same tenant as my Dynamics CRM. So that is like pushing the bar in a way. Okay, and what will be synchronization is vendor. So we'll be synchronization the vendors in in F&O to the Dynamics CRM. So as I said earlier, I would advise that we do this from the new admin center, which is the admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. If I'm going too fast, kindly let me know. You can drop a message in the chat window. I would see it. And if you have some questions, you can also make it available there. Okay, so just a second, let me pull up the old admin center so you'd see what I'm talking about. Okay, so while that is loading, I have loaded my finance and operations environment, and this is it in here. Okay, so this is my finance and operations environment. Then this should be my, so this is my Dynamics CRM environment. So they are both ready, and we'll soon start the integration so we can synchronize these informations. Okay, so real quick, we'll need to create, first of all, connection set, as it implies. So the connection sets are the target services that are required for data integration. So what do I mean by target services? The target services here are finance and operations and Dynamics CRM. So we need to establish a connection first before we can use those targeted services to achieve integration. So one of the ways to actually set up your connections is to log on to the Power Apps, make.powerapps.com. Then you can now navigate to data. Then from data, you can go to connections. Now, these are the list of connections that I currently have in my environment. Now, we need to be very careful. The other time, if you were observant, you will see that I have several environments in my Dynamics environment or my CDS environment. So now, these are all environments, and I have selected to use this one for my data integration. Now, if you create a connection set that is not within a particular environment and you want to use that environment for data integration, then data integration will not be possible. So these are some of the shortcomings or some of the limitations, because it's not cross-tenant, it is environment-based. The connection sets are environment-based. And also in your CRM, one of the ways to get to use your data integration as well, prospect to cache is required. So you need to install your prospect to cache in your from the app source in the environment in the tenant. So you can also do that. Okay, so very quick, I'll just show us what the app source should look like. Okay, I'm trying to go from here. Okay, so after explaining the concept of the connections set, so now we know that connection set is like the bedrock of the integration. Okay, yeah, so this is the app source here. So when you click on the app source to add an application, so you need to search for prospect to cache. So once the prospect to cache is installed, then your dynamic CRM is ready to be made use of. Is already prepared. There are some mappings and there are some entities, there are some relationships that the prospect to cache would already make available, so that the communication with human Dynamics 365 human resource or finance and operation will be seamless and easy. Okay, I think this is taking a bit of time to load. So going back to the connection set, I have been able to establish a few connections. So the way to add a connection is to come in here, you click on the add connection, then over here to make it easy, you can now search for Dynamics. Now, I have Dynamics 365, Sales Insight, Customer Insight, Fin and Ops, and Navision. Now, what we are making use of is the Fin and Ops. So once you click on the plus sign, it asks you to authenticate. So once you create and you authenticate, then you would successfully have your Dynamics Finance and Ops ready to be used in the Power Platform. Okay, so let me just cancel this because I already have one in here. Let me search for it. Okay, so I have added quite a number of them. Sales. So this one that we can see here, Dynamics 365, is basically the one for CRM. Is basically the one for the CRM. Okay, just a second. Okay, yeah, details. Okay, so this is basically CRM. Yeah, so you could check the user that is currently connected. And like I said earlier, I'm making the finance and ops. I'm making use of finance and op that does not belong to my tenant. So that is communicating across tenant. Okay, so this is how to create a connection set. So you need to create the connection set for the source, which is Dynamics, and you need to create a connection set for the AX, I mean for the finance and ops or AX, which is this one as highlighted here. But this is the user that we'll be making use of. Now, you can also see CDS. Now, you can also do integration projects with CDS. So for the CDS, most of the projects come as blank projects. So we'll go in very soon and start getting our hands pretty dirty. Okay, so now back into the data integration engine, so to speak. Okay, so we need to now create a project. Remember that we already created the connections. Then we can now create connection sets here if we want, but you can create it while creating the project. Okay, so on to creation of the project. Now we need to specify a project name that we want in here. So to make it easier, I could say D365 FNO to D365 sales. Let me add CRM sales. Okay, so if you have not created a connection set already, you can come in here and create a new connection set or select existing. So let me show you real quick how we could create a new connection set. So for creating a connection set, it will automatically drop down the available targeted services that are currently supported. And I think for now, we'll be able to add about 3 in here, which is the Dynamics, CRM, Finance and Ops, and I think Salesforce, I guess. Okay, so we can add the connection name. Now, you can reuse a connection set. A single connection set can be reused multiple times. So now we could name this connection set new F and O to CRM sales. Okay, while this is still loading. Okay, so now the first app should actually be the source, and we are having this. Remember that the integration project is going to be from F&O to account in sales. So that is vendor F&O to account sales. So we're going to select. So now, if you notice the connections that we established in this make.power apps that are here will automatically be populated in here for us to use. So that is why we can now select this one as the source. Then we can select the Dynamics CRM sales as the target. So, okay, so this is kind of taking a bit of time to load. Okay, so once this loads, it's going to give us the environment that we can make use of. Now, for those of us that are familiar with finance and ops, you would notice that the finance and ops works more with legal entities. So you have several legal entities within finance and ops, And just like CRM also make use of business units or environment. So now we would be selecting the URL where the environment is in here for the AX finance and ops, and would also select the environment for the CRM sales that we have. Okay, taking a bit of time. Okay, so while this is loading, let me just drag in the old admin center. So this is how the old admin center looks like, and this is how the data integration in the old admin center looks like. Okay, so I would advise that every of your integration should be done from the new admin center, because it is quite flexible to use, and you have more ease to run your data integration projects within. Okay, so this is a list of connection sets. Okay, so if you want to create a new project, just the same way we are doing that over there. Let's see if it's still loading. I think I might have to refresh. Okay, so while that is still loading, so basically we are just done with connection sets. So I'll really speed through the organization mapping. The organization mapping is the next point that we are currently in, because once we start the connection set, then we'll be able to select the organization and map it to the legal entity, since we are integrating from F&O to sales. Okay, yeah, I think it's now on. Okay, so brilliant. So this is the environment mappings. So now we have several environments for the F&O. Now we will just need to select the environment that the user has access to use. So this is the one our user have access to, and over here, this is the one that we are making use of. So this is the environment mappings that we've just done. Okay, so you need to understand where your resource is coming from and where you want it to go to. Okay, so the next thing that we'll do here will be to select the organization's legal entities. Now, if we should drop down this, for those who are familiar with the finance and operations, you would see that we have several legal entities in here. So the one we're making use of is the USMF, this one, and the other one is yes. So now we have the business unit and we have the organization. So we want to map to the organization itself. So we'll be using this. Then let's rename this new D365 FNO 2D5 sales. Okay, so then we'll now create the project now. So this is basically you creating a project. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so we're currently done with this. So the next thing will be we'll need to select a template for the project. Why is this getting stuck? This internet should please be nice. Okay, so I've just taken us through the route of creating connection set, then to mapping your environment, then selecting the business unit that you are required to use, then also now to template. So we have some pre-existing template. Now this the new admin center is quite smart because it has been able to identify that you're making use of finance and ops as well as sales. So now the templates that it's going to select for you will be templates that are associated to finance and ops and CRM sales. Oh, what just happened? Okay, let me be real quick. Okay, it's back. Glitch. Okay, just let me select. Okay, so while this is synchronizing, also just to point some few things out, you'd need to also be able to ensure that the prospect to cache is updated after you have installed it in your CRM environment. So the prospect to cache is to be installed in the CRM environment. Okay, so this is the app source. Then let me just search real quick. Okay, so this is it. Dynamics 365 prospect to cache. So you could simply install it from in here, and you would have it ready in the specified Dynamics environment. Let's go forward. Nope. Okay, so now we are about to select a template, and based on your business need, you would need to select the templates that would suit it. So now we want to perform from vendor, so we could just select, type in vendor in here. Then we have few options available for us to use. So we could select, let me see. Second. Okay, so this is more like it. So this is finance and ops to sales. Then we click on OK. Okay, so we already selected that it should be from USMF to this. Then we can do this. Then perfect. So this is the last step for creating the data integration project. So now we have our project ready for integration. Okay, yeah, this is it. So you can now click on it and open it up. So one of the things we should also note is we cannot rename our data integration project that has been created. So you can't rename it. So that is one. Then also if you are using a trial environment for your data integration, you will only be able to see, you will be able to have only 50 integrations, so to speak. So for instance, you could have a scheduled integration that every 1 hour, I want this, I want all the contacts or all the vendors in finance and ops to be synchronized to sales accounts. Now, what you are doing is, if you set it as a schedule, then it runs periodic. So every hour it begins to run. But if you're making use of a trial environment, for instance, your Dynamics 365 environment that is specified is a trial environment, then you will be unable to have your project to run for more than 50 times. So once it reaches the benchmark of 50, then it stops. Okay, so that's what happens. Now, our project is ready. So you can, these are the tasks. So we are going to create tasks. Then this is the connection that we just created. So it is clearly spelled out, scheduling and all. Okay, so this is the schedule that I just spoke about, running it manually, or you can make it run or reoccur at various time intervals. Okay, so just let us add a single task and move a single information, or we could do two, well, let's just do one task just for today. So we want to synchronize vendor. So let's say FNO vendor. Oh, to accounts. Okay. Okay, so this is now loading the entities that I have in Finance and Ops, and also the entities that I have in Dynamics 365 Sales. So once this open up, I'll be able to select the vendor entity. Hurry up, hurry up. Okay, let's see where we are now. Okay, so we are already heading towards mappings, then transformations, then executions. So I hope this runs ASAP. Okay, just one more thing. Okay, so going back to the prospect to cache, so you could actually select the environment in here, and you could now apply your prospect to cache installation in here. So, but I already have that, so I wouldn't be doing that. So remember, it's from the app source at the Dynamics homepage. Then you can install the prospect to cache, which is quite required and essential for data integration to work seamless. So coming back in here, still loading. Okay, I would have to refresh the page. Okay, let's see. Okay. Quick. Okay, we're almost done. We'll soon be rounding up this segment. Okay, I think it's now moving. Oops, taking longer than usual. Apologies for that. So basically, once this opens up, it would list out all the entities in finance and ops. Then I'll be able to select the vendor entity, and also coming down to the sales, then I will also be able to select the account entity. So once we have these, then we have a task. So you can have several tasks within a single data integration project. You can have up to, I think, up to about 12 tasks running within a single data integration project. Okay, still loading. Okay, so this is ready. So now here I can now have all of them. Then just let me search for vendor. Okay. Now which of the vendor? Yeah, vendor V2. Yeah, so I'm making use of the vendor V2. Then coming in here, I'm making use of accounts. So we could achieve just a quick synchronization of data. Okay, then let me save this. Okay. Refresh. Okay, so the other thing we'll be doing now is to select the fields that we want to map. So as we know, various fields have various entities. I mean, various entities have various fields within them that are like properties of the field. So basically, we would now there's a fun part to the data integration here, because what you can actually do on Power BI, which is transformation of data. You could also do those in here. The outer inner join, the left inner join, you can actually perform those within. So you can see this advanced query. So on selecting the advanced query, you can now enable it. So this is a yes. So I'm enabling advanced query. Okay, so once this is done, I would go straight into the mapping of the fields. Okay, so ready. So I come and click here. Okay, so one thing we'll be doing, we'll be mapping the vendor account to account number. So we want this is based on the needs of the organization, but just for test purpose, I'll be, okay, let me remove this one. Okay, so let me add fresh mapping. Okay, so let me search for vendor. Okay, so vendor accounts. Then let me map this to the normal account number. Okay, then let's add one more just to test. So we could add the vendor organization name. Okay, here we have it. Then we are mapping it to the, let's say, account name as well. Oh, this didn't move. Okay, give me a second. Cancel. Okay. Okay. Okay, so basically, just for test purpose, just let's move the account number and the vendor number into, let's synchronize them across the two services. Let me add this thing, this left. Oh, it keeps leaving. Why? Okay, apologies for this. Quite an unusual behavior today. Okay, so we are at this point currently, mapping transformation. Then we already spoke about schedule. Okay, I think this should stay now. Okay, so we're almost rounding up this aspect of the webinar. So if you have some questions, you can start preparing them and dropping them in the chat window. Okay, let me go back. Quite an unusual behavior today. Okay. Okay, let me reload this. Also, let me reload, refresh this. Okay. So just let me show you real quick what the transformation aspect of the data integration in here looks like, where you can actually use Power Query and the like. So once you click on open the mappings and you select advanced filter query, so you'll be able to perform some merging, some concatenation, adding of new columns, adding of new lines. You could do that from in here in the advanced filter query. Okay, so while that has loaded, so our project is ready to be executed. So we are synchronizing the source app vendors to sales account. Let's see if this is ready. Okay, so just let me navigate real quick to the vendors that we have in here. Okay, let's see. Okay, vendor payment. Okay, all vendors. Okay, so while this is loading, then I think we can execute this project now. Okay, very good. Very good. So this is the advanced filter query, and these are the informations that are coming from the source, which is our FNO. So we have specified that we want the vendor account number and the vendor organization name, so we can see the information that we have in here. So if you want to add more fields, add more features to this, then you can make use of this as your data transforming tool in here. Okay, so we're not going much deep into this today. Just let me exit, then let me run this, let me save once more, then execute the project. So you could also perform this with your human resource. You can perform this with your project service. You can do this also with field service. You can do this with customer service. All the Dynamics applications are supported to achieve this. So let's go back to the project, then execute. Okay, let me reduce the number of tabs. Okay, so these are our organizations. Let's do this in alphabetical order. Okay, so run project. So our project is currently executing. So in order for you to see the project, in case it throws up some error or the likes, you can come to your execution history. So in your execution history, you would have an execution ID, which is this. Then you would see how this is working. So now upserts and errors. So upserts basically means new records are being pushed, and errors, definitely like it sounds, they are errors. So you can click on this execution, then you would be able to see more of what is happening. And you would be able to also identify if this is an import error or an export error. So we are importing from FNO, and this is going into the sales account. So we'll be able to identify if this is an import error or an import error or an export error. So we'll be able to see that from in here. So let's refresh. Wow. Okay. Good. We have no error. Okay. So we have 49 upserts. This is saying the status is complete. Definitely, we didn't push in more records, so this should be kind of real quick. So as we can see, then also you can track this project from the F&O side as well. Okay, so in case there are errors, there's a way you can come into in-air, and you can also navigate to system administration in your F&O. Then you would be able to see the batch jobs that's actually occurred. So this is the data integration aspect. So you could, let's see, data management. Okay, so there's something that might be looking familiar. Can we see this ID? Let's check the data integration that we just executed and see. Okay, brilliant. So this is EF7B. Now, if we go up to the data integration, to the system admin, the data management in F&O, we can actually track our jobs. So if we should click on this, we'll be able to see if there are errors within, and we would also be able to identify where these errors are coming from. So basically, there are no errors, then it means this project runs successfully. Okay, so now let's go to our CRM, and let's see if there is any new records that are being pushed in.
The records are already displaying. You can see the one called vendor when you scroll down.
Okay. Okay, just a sec, just to verify. Okay, so I think this is one of the vendors. Okay, so we asked for, okay, let's open up this vendor for vendor name and account number, I believe. So we can actually come into in here and verify. So I think this is one of the records that were flushed in. Okay, amazingly.
Check details. Okay.
Okay, it's popped up. Yeah, it's in here. So we can verify. I think this is 1001. Then let's go in here. It's 1001. So basically, this is how we can achieve data integration on the Power Platform. If you want to have more and more fields populated, like in here, if you want to have more of these fields populated, all you just need to do is come into the data integration project, go under your tasks, then into the first task, you can add multiple field mappings. Time will not permit us to have more and more fields attached, so we can see how this works out. So I hope I've been able to expose us to the knowledge of data integration, and this brings us to the end of my aspects. Sorry I took your time. You can ask your questions now if you have any.
Oh, this is fantastic, Funso. Very great. So I see if I shouldn't finish with this topic, especially. Okay, I think this is what people have been trying to wait for. I mean, quite a lot of people have asked me about this integration stuff. So, and that's one is why we have to bring you here so that you can show us how you can go about this. Okay, if anyone have questions here before, maybe like one or two questions. So I think that we have a question here. Someone is asking, is there a limitation for example, convert text to option sets?
Okay. When you mean convert text to option set, okay, are you saying in the advanced query aspect or in the mappings aspect? Because basically, as you can see in here, we ensured that what is going into the action name. This is a single line of text, and this is an integer. So we are ensuring that what values should go into which fields should be actually what will be acceptable. So if you have, I think currently, I think there is a limitation with updating lookup fields, okay? Because the lookup fields might be wanting to look up to values. And if you're trying to pass in a value which is not belonging to maybe a parent record, so to speak, you might not have those values coming into here. But I wish I could have enough time because there are lots of series. For instance, if you're
Okay, sorry for
okay,
sure.
okay,
If I may step in, to
okay,
that
sure.
question. So basically, it's very good question. So basically, an AX text field mapping to a CRM option set field. So usually, even when using Power Automate, you need to map to the numeric value of that option set rather than the text itself. So it's a bit dicey. I mean, if you want to map an AX text, then you will have to already have the value of the option set from CRM. So those are the, should I say, limitations of there. So yes, it's most likely exists. Okay. So Punsho, what he was talking about is not single text fields to single text
Okay.
field. A single
Oh,
text
okay.
field to a multiple option set
Option
field.
set.
I know option sets usually carry IDs beside it, which you have to reference
Yeah, that's
before you
true.
can bring up the option set. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that yes, you're right, Rashid. There's a little limitation around that. So yeah, that's but however, I believe the limitation can be overcome. Okay, Rashid, by knowing the maybe creating a custom field, okay, and then knowing the option set beforehand, possibly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shay, for the enlightenment.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, do we have any
All
more
right.
questions?
Okay. I think if you have a question, you can drop your questions so that when the speaker can go on the next sections. All right. So if you have a question, you can drop. Okay. You provide a response to the sorts. Okay, that's good. All right. So I think we can go on to the next section. She will be the next. And then thank you, Funsho. Thank you. That's such a wonderful presentation. And then this is actually amazing. I really appreciate the fact that we're able to get some things out of this section. So, okay. So thank you very much, Funsho.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right. Hello, everyone. Well, I hope you still have the energy to go to the next section. But rather than talk about Power Apps and the rest, which my colleague and my previous colleagues have also mentioned in previous days, I'm going to go into something much more business specific, especially when it comes to user administration and security within Power Platform. As I'm speaking, kindly drop your texts into this because this is going to be interactive. I'm not going to be showing so much, and I'll pretty much be answering questions. So if you have questions around security and user administration, I would like this to be interactive because, of course, I know 1 hour must have taken so much out of you. Okay, so let's start. So a brief history about myself. I have 6 years working with CRM and ERP tools. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. and I'm currently managing a team of 30 engineers working on Power Platform. So the agenda here is the navigation and examples of security on common data services, navigation to security on Power Platform, and of course, data loss prevention policies. Hamed, please, can you confirm that this has not been taken on this platform yet?
No, not really.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So basically, the question that many of you may have is, okay, fine. If somebody from the networking world or somebody from the, should I say, infrastructure world should now say, fine, I want to learn Power Platform. And then an issue comes, how do I do security? Because for people that do Cisco here, you have your own access policies. So if I'm going into the applications world now, what kind of security do I have to restrict what other people see in their app? Okay. So that is a very, very important question. So now to that, I'll just go straight into action. Excuse me. One moment. Okay. All right. So basically, this is my environment, the default environment. Oh, by the way, let me first of all go into the security. So this is the default environment within the admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com, where, of course, my friend just navigated to. But mine is actually going into this environment. Okay. So now on Power Platform, the container for any activity that you want to carry out, be it build an application, be it build an app or Power Automate, is done within environments, which I'm sure many of you know. And now, for you to be able to manage the security going into an environment, okay, there are specifics that you need to know. Okay, so hopefully my internet is faster today as well. Shouldn't take more than 15 minutes for this call. All right, so it has appeared. Now, if I'm going into the settings, okay, then you would see users and permissions. All right. And then, of course, you see business unit, hierarchy, settings, mobile configuration, positions. But because of time, let's focus on security roles. Okay. So while this loads, okay. Now, if I play this app, this user has access to everything, okay, within your organization. But imagine you building this app and then your boss comes to you to say, I want some particular users to just have access to what they created within an account. I don't want them to see all the records within the system. So what would you do if you were working with the common data services? You'd go into the security roles, okay? And then you would actually go into that security role. It could be any one of this to configure, okay? And it looks like this. Forgive the complicated look. Let me increase the size. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So forgive the, like I said, the complicated look, okay? It's really, really simple. So now this user has nothing, or this security role has nothing in it. Just the minimum amount of, should I say, privileges required to open a simple Power App. The name of that role is main priv apps use. So remember it because you might need it in your deployment for Power Apps going forward. If you don't want people to have environment maker role, like going into the environment and being able to create solutions and the rest, you'll be looking at main privilege apps use. Okay. So have that at the back of your mind. Now, here, we just want the user to be able to see what he created. So at the bottom here are icons showing the privilege levels. If you see here 1/4 of the circle, you see a user level permission. Half of the circle is a business unit. What is a business unit? A user might be in the sales unit. A business unit might be, of course, the sales unit. The parent-child business unit can be the business development department, which has the sales unit within it. And then, of course, you have this organization, being maybe the CEO is at this level because he wants to see all that is happening with this organization. So the CEO at this level now says, I want the user that will be attached to this role to only be able to see what he created, be able to read or to be able to create for himself, read what he has created, edit what he has created, delete what he has created. Okay, only. And I can save on this. All right, so save and close. So that has been saved right here. So if you go into here, and I have this user called Ayola Ayotunde. This user has, let me go back to verify what he has on the app. So if I click on share here, if I want to share my app with other users, okay, but I want to limit what they are seeing. Now, this is what they can see, or for that user can see within the environment. So environment maker, minimum privilege apps use, common data service user, right? Okay. Now, I'm now saying I don't want him to have all that. I want him to be able to have just the minimum apps use, to be able to just enable to answer or be able to go into this particular app. Please, if I'm losing you, kindly click on the hand raise button or ask any questions to stop me to ask more questions, please. All right, so now I can go into the security roles, okay, and then go to users. All right, so I can go into this particular user. And then manage his roles. So I can remove this, remove this. So when I click on manage roles, I'm actually managing the particular security that I'm giving him, okay, on this. For more information on security roles, I'll paste a link at the end of this discussion on where to learn more about security within Dynamics 365. Okay, now, since that has been done and it has been saved, that's not a problem. So our user can go to the Power Platform here. Sorry, 1 moment. And then let's try and make him create an account. Okay, so my account. As you can see, it doesn't have any permission to see anything apart from account. So anything regarding contacts, you won't be able to see. Any app that is here, you won't be able to see, just this account. So now if you go into here, and I think we can refresh this data, it should bring out, yes, just my account. And if there's any app that is here, which is one that was shared with him, this, let's see. Okay, this app called Test One. Now let's see what he will see at the end of the day. All right, So you don't have access to view this data. All right. Privilege, read contact. So only accounts you would be able to see, not contact. So what if I go into my account, my Power App, okay, and I go into the gallery, and then I change it from account to contacts. Okay, view active contacts. Oh, sorry, accounts rather. All right, so view all accounts. And I save this, publish. All right. After this has been published, I can go to the app and refresh. Okay, so I have to go back to the environment to give him something like, let's see, app user, manage roles. Contacts, just this, and this. Save and picture roles. Apologies, I'm having a bit of difficulty getting what I want to see. It's working a bit too well. All right. Let me see. All right. So basically, I've been able to just limit this user to see just this account. I remember it doesn't have environment maker roles or anything like that. It just has that minimum privilege user. And then you can now edit it to what you want that user to have access to within a Power App. And if you notice, it won't also be able to edit anything within your solutions. Whereas you here, you'd be able to do this much. Okay? Hello? Anybody there?
Yeah, we're here. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. So another aspect that I quickly want to touch before we call it a day is short and simple. Are you sure you don't have any questions in regards to how to limit other people's accesses to any Power App record that you have? Okay, I guess no questions then. Then another thing that I want to touch on is what we call data policies. Okay, so data policies is basically what you do when you don't want some information to be shared between some applications. For example, you don't want some information from SharePoint to flow into Facebook. Okay, you don't want anybody within the organization going somewhere to say, fine, I want to create a Power Automate that can bring up some files from SharePoint and then go and paste it on WordPress, okay, or something. Now, we can start by going to admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. Once we navigate there, we go to data policies. Okay, let me start by naming this D365 user group. Okay, next. Of course. Now, there is, should I say, business data. Okay, so then you can select connectors for sensitive data. So connectors in this group can't share data with connectors in other groups, which is this group. Okay, so I can click on here. Sorry, one moment. Let me look for SharePoint. Which is this one. All right. connect us soon. All right, 1 minute. Move to business. Okay. Outlook. All right. Move to business. Okay, so we have, let me delete this. So we have SharePoint and Outlook, okay? And then maybe we have just the normal Outlook with live, right? So we have this. So I want to do a quick example, okay? Say, for example, you have somebody in your organization that want to send that is malicious enough to want to send the information from SharePoint or Outlook to his own private email, for example. Okay, so you can go from there, add all environments. Okay, say you can define that. Okay, fine, you want that policy only to be on one environment or another environment. And they say next. Okay, add all environment. I can create the policy. It's very easy. Okay, and it's done. So now we can then go ahead, say, fine, let's practice this. What happens when we want to create a flow and we want to leverage all of these applications? Okay, so let me start from blank. So manually trigger flow. Okay, so the first step is this Outlook for Office 365. Okay. Say get email. Sorry, let me delete this. So when a new email arrives, for example, okay, I'm not filtering anything. It's just a simple email. Get an email ID of this. So let me look for ID. So message ID. All right. Then new step would be Outlook. Just a simple Outlook.com. Say send an email. Sign in. Guys, please, like I said, stop me if you have any questions, okay? Like, I want this to be interactive. Your silence is scaring me. If you're thinking of, yeah, thank you.
That's why you are doing a good job. Why are you scared?
Yeah, I want it to be interactive now.
Okay.
Shay, we're following. We're with
Okay.
you.
All right. No problem. Okay. Yes. Okay. So to me. Okay. Subject will be body is body. Oh wow. Let me even try to be more malicious. Let me use my own email. for example. All right, save. Do you see? Your flow was saved, but could not be enabled because it uses a combination of connectors which conflict with company data loss prevention policies. So I have inadvertently protected my organization from somebody taking an information using this powerful tool into my own private. You can just imagine the amount of company data that I can have within my environment. But because of this simple tool, limiting what people see using security roles on CDS, and then using data access policies in order to limit the information that you can pass from one application to another non-secure application. Thank you. Yes, I'm done.